All right. Happy Friday. It is August 6th, and we are doing a little halftime show. We had a guest get stuck in an airport and on a plane. So we will be meeting with Dr. John here in a few weeks when we get him ready to go and knock it out. He is with Key T Wellness. He is one of our division sponsors for the Storm Classic for 2022. And we're very excited to have him on along with a lineup that I think will be very interesting, not only for our particular audience, but also for our expanded audience as we will be moving into different disciplines. For example, pro wrestling. I'll give you a little hint on that. I just got off the phone with a guest who will be coming on in about 3 weeks, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of an update there. However, I do want to, first of all, highlight what we've accomplished this year on the Friday Fitcast. This was something that kind of morphed into, hey, let's just do this in quarantine in 2020. Let's get the word out for what's going on in bodybuilding. We've had some amazing guests, and we've had celebrities, and it's kind of morphed into more or less a show where we not only can give education or perspective, we can also give you connection to wanting for you to be your best self. So I'm looking at a lot of the different things. For example, if you look on YouTube on the Friday Fitcast, I'm going to pull that up and share my screen here in just a second. I do want to be able to not only interact with you all, but I also want you to see exactly who we've had on and who you could connect with if there was a message that got a chance to get through to you. You know, I think about long form video. There's a way to do short form and there's a way to do long form. And what we've chosen to do is we've chosen to do both. Every Friday, we'll do at least 45 to 75 minutes of long form information where we interview someone, whether it be an athlete, a company, different promoters for different shows, maybe a different even organization for that matter, or federation. And, you know, I got asked this question this week, which I thought was really interesting. They're like, why do you go to other people's shows? Why did you go to the Branch Warren? Why are you going to the Lee Labrada tomorrow? Why do you, sometimes fly out to Phoenix and go watch the UBU show, which Ed and Betty Parizo put on? Well, it's a tight-knit world. It's a small world in the bodybuilding universe and fitness universe. And I want to be able to not only see friends, but we also want to be able to support our fellow athletes. And one of the things that I found is last year when we were traveling around, we were making trips back and forth to Arizona anywhere between once a month to once every other month. And what better way to meet the athletes, see the quality that's out there, visit the gyms, tour different venues. It was really a nice trip within a trip because not only was it business related, it was fun. And I think about sometimes when we're doing things that aren't fun, especially a prep where you have to eat the same thing and you have to do cardio and you have to, we turn that into a get to, right? And here's where the unfun stuff was. It was from going to airports, wearing a mask, which I didn't really enjoy doing, renting cars and getting to the hotels and then touring around and finding different strategic routes and stops to make at supplement shops, at different areas where athletes might be, touring the different gyms. And I have to say, we met a lot of great athletes, teams, coaches, and made those connections to culminate what we're doing this year in different cities. We will be bringing people in for the show. So I think about the investment that we make, and we don't really know sometimes where the returns are. And I have to say that those returns are really cashing in now as we have built amazing relationships with different vendors and different partners. And they all want in on what we're doing. So what that tells me is I think we're doing something right. At least I hope we're doing something right. Will we do everything right? No. But I love the fact that we're on track for doing this to make it our biggest and best year ever. And we're really going to kind of power pack this thing to make sure that we are delivering for not only athletes, audience, as well as our partners, preferred vendors, and sponsors. So a lot of you saw on the website, if you look down here, you'll look at stormclassicshow.com. What you'll see is we have added 4 new vendors in just the last 3 days. And we have a new sponsor coming on next week. And as soon as all of the agreements are signed and as soon as everything is funded, we will be officially announcing that. And I will say that we also made a huge announcement yesterday when we talked about we are now paying out Masters divisions. So a minimum of 5 in Masters, like bikini, for example, and they'll have a payout. A minimum of 5 in men's physique, same thing, wellness, figure, bodybuilding, classic, those types of things. We want to be able to reward the wisdom, the older or previous generation. I don't want to say older, let's just say previous. The previous generation who are in their 40s, 35, 50, 60. You know, it's tough to compete when you're 60 years old in the open division against a bunch of 20-somethings or even 30-somethings who might be in their prime. On the flip side of that, I've also seen 50s and 60s-year-olds who are in their prime who basically can whoop up on a couple of 20 and 30-year-olds. So, yes, the Masters are allowed to do open as well. We'll get a chance to see how that pans out, but it's really good to be able to give back. I have gotten so many different responses from everyone who was waiting to register for Masters, and they finally pulled the trigger to do it last night. There were registrations that came in, and I'm like, oh, that's all you were waiting for, is just to announce that there might be payouts, and now there are payouts? Great. Now we know what to do, right? So I appreciate all of you who have put your trust in the show, as well as gotten the chance to really invest your time, your energy in this prep to bring your best to see if you can take home some bag, some money, some cash. So we put that out there. What I want to share with you, this is the neat part about StreamYard, for example. I can share a screen and I can show you just some of the things that we've gotten the chance to accomplish just over this last short 6 months. Now, I know it doesn't really seem like just 6 months, but what's crazy when I think about what we have been doing, we've been busy behind the scenes. Every single week, we do something show related, if not every single day. And I'm very proud of the episode that we did. You'll notice the jump. A lot of you folks who watch on Facebook probably don't watch on YouTube. And what you're going to realize is our YouTube viewership is going up as our subscribership is going up. We just recently launched this particular channel. We were actually on a previous channel before, so we're moving the videos over as best we can. However, these are just the live streams. So Vanessa and Luis Gonzalez were last week. They got a chance to talk a lot about family, faith, and fitness. And I have to say that that episode really moved a lot of people. And Vanessa's competing in a pro show tomorrow. We wish her all the best. Her and the family made it safely. And she is definitely someone who has not only taken the time over the last 3 to 4 years to improve, she's gotten a chance to take her life to a new level. And that's what I really love about this family, is they definitely have their priorities in order. The week before that, we got a chance to have IFBB pro Jason Martinez. And interestingly enough, that was one of the more viewed shows on Facebook. And that viewership went through the roof. And Jason is a guy who is with Team Jack. That is his team. And what's great about Jason is he also has a show where he will interview in studio different athletes from the Valley down in South Texas. And he kept it real in his video. And so when I look at the, the different time frames, you'll look at 53 minutes here, 55 minutes here. We also had John Ott on with Yep Strength right before he went to USA's. He got a chance just to compete in USA's last weekend. And he said it was a very humbling experience, but also an experience that he would never trade. We got the chance to talk on the phone last week, and he's extremely excited, not only for his bodybuilding future, but his business future. And that's someone that I respect, because I think about someone who not only thinks one-dimensionally, they also take a look outside on the life after bodybuilding. And that's what we dug into in that episode. Some of you saw our PCA USA president involved in our show, and we made the official announcement that for those of you who are competing in the Storm Classic and you are an overall winner, you might be invited to be able to go to Birmingham, England, November 20th of 2022. You don't have to take the invite, but I will say that that will be the invite only to their exclusive world championships, We are the only non-sanctioned show that PCA wanted to do this with. And what's great about it is now you have a path to either A, go to the World Championships with possibly earning your pro card, or number two, possibly getting on their radar to earn a little bit of money in the future. So it's always great when you're moving up in the sport to be recognized and acknowledged by, really one of the more prestigious organizations in the world, which is PCA. And that's the Physical Culture Association. I think about Mally Ford and pro athlete Mally. She is an esthetician. She is a businesswoman. She's a pro athlete. She's gotten the chance to compete in 2 Storm Classics. And she is someone who, by the way, just broke over 1,000 views on Facebook in her first week when we did the show on episode 55. And we had a lot of fun in that interview. If you don't know Mally before, you now know her in that side that she has a really magnetic personality, but deep down, she's incredibly driven at what she does. And when she puts her mind to something, her and her husband will be prepping for a show. They make it work. And they have many sons at home, and they come and go. And what's great about it is they still find time to make time for each other, time for family, and also time to lift and be ready to go once showtime comes around. So I'm going to just kind of pause there for just a quick second, because I think about, really what we have accomplished just in those short 5 weeks. When we think about episode 55 to episode 60, I had to reflect to say, are we giving something that people would be worth listening to, right? And that's a really hard thing to do sometimes, because I'm always asking questions when I go to a gym and I say, hey, give me the rundown, give me the scoop. What is it that you would like to hear on the show? Who would you like to have on that you would like to hear from? And I get a lot of answers. And what that does is that helps build a list of people. And when I think about the list of people that really are kind of tied in this community, some of them are celebrities and you might know them if I said their names. Some of them you might not know, but once you've heard their story, you're like, I want to get to know them. And that's a delicate balance that we like to end up trying to strike when we do these shows. When we hold our production meetings, we always have what we call prep calls, right? And in our prep call, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. Anything off limits, anything that you want to, really talk about and kind of lead into. And the reason why that's so important is because everybody has a story, even if you're not an athlete, right? You all have a story and it's all worth listening to. And that's one of the things that I love about this particular podcast is we get a chance to dive a little bit deeper than just the surface level stuff. So, as I mentioned before, I do want to bring this up because on a screen share, what you are going to notice is the new additions. And I want to highlight them because a lot of times you hear about it, but you don't see it. So for those of you who end up going to the website often, great. If you haven't gone to the website anytime lately, what you will see is we have made some changes. We have made some upgrades. And this is one of the things that we have not been able to do because it's always been a work in progress. So I want to first of all start off by letting you know that the prize money has increased. We've gone from $20,000 to $22,500. And we are looking at trying to pump another $2,500 into the payouts as we speak. So I'm hoping next week we have boots on the ground right now. We have a couple of things in the works. And if those do come through, we'll let you know when. If they don't, that's not a big deal. We'll leave it at the $22,500 in hopes that we get to $25,000. But I still think that's a heck of a payout for our first non-sanctioned show. And it's our 4th year going and our 7th event total. So when I think about the minimum payouts, we're guaranteeing $3,000 in men's bodybuilding open, men's classic physique, $3,000 as well, and then men's physique, $3,000. So we basically split it all evenly according to this point. $3,000 in figure, $3,000 in wellness, and then $3,000 in bikini. Well, if you do 3,000 times 6, it only comes up to 18,000. That's the first question that I always get. Where did the other $2,000 go? What you're also going to see is we do not have women's physique or women's bodybuilding on here yet. And those classes or those divisions are very close to making. So we're holding that. And if they didn't make and they didn't have enough in their division to qualify, we're going to distribute that other $2,000 into the classes that we are paying out, if that makes sense. So as of right now, we do have enough registrations in these 6 classes to be able to pay out the prize pool. Now, also, as we add more bodies, we are going to be looking to try and contribute more to the open divisions. The divisions that are offered here, I like to keep 2 L's in bodybuilding. If you're kind of a nerd like me, bodybuilding, women's physique, classic, kids fitness. We also have doubles and singles as well as family fitness, wellness, figure, men's physique, bikini, and we do have teen. We do have beginners, we do have novice, we have open, and we have masters. These 2 will be eligible for payouts, and you're going to be seeing that change. We're going to asterisk that and put that in there. As far as judging, we just had another judging call last night, and we moved down here. Some of you have watched the video from last year's Storm Classic. Also, you'll see that Richard Martinez, who is our official stage photographer, Morgan Dean, who will be on the mic, and our MC of the show during the day. And you also will get the chance to see the photo gallery. So for those of you who kind of want to experience what a Storm Classic looks like and you haven't had the chance to do it, just go to the photo gallery and you'll see hundreds of photos uploaded. You'll see amateurs, you'll see pros. You'll also see from the Desert Storm Classic. This was our August show last year in 2021. And what's fun about this is we like to highlight some of the first place and second place winners. We did this a little differently. And, what I really enjoyed about this show was it was an intimate show where we really got a chance to know a lot of these competitors, and they ended up catapulting not only into the Storm Classic, but also into the Global Open and Global Invitational, which are the next 2 photo galleries. So for those of you who see the photo galleries here, you can look at that. And then we also have, for those of you who have competed, I would love if you could write a review as far as what your experience was during the show or before the show or after the show. I love reading these. Some people post a picture of a stage shot. That's fine too. But it really warms my heart when I know that we're on the right track, trying to do the right thing for athletes. And, as we go through here, what you're going to see right here, the registration link, the ticket link goes directly to Eventbrite, which has been updated, and now it's finally ready to go. So the tickets start at $40, VIP is $60, and there are only 10 coaches passes for $100 backstage. And that is a certified coach who we know they're coaches of athletes. We try and keep backstage as minimized as possible for extra bodies. And we also will be having security checking all credentials and all badges. We will have press material and credentials as well. So for our camera crew, they're going to have credentials. For our video crew and our production crew, they're all going to be the same. And this will give you an idea of how to get your tickets, where the venue is located. Everything that you need to know is on there. We also do have on the next tab, we do have booking the hotel. It goes directly to the link to Moody Gardens, and you can reserve your hotel. We still have 3 rooms left in our block. And then next week, I will renegotiate to see if we can lock in the same rate for the next block. And so we had, I think, 60. We had 60 room nights total in our very first block, and we only have 3 of those left. And then we will open up the new block. So you might see a little bit of change. I am hoping we can stay at the same price. If you guys are planning any events, as far as maybe if you're golfing, which most competitors are probably not going to golf after they've competed. If you want a spa day, they have spa packages, everything that you need there. And we also do have tanning, hair, and makeup. If you go to here, you'll see Jalinda is the contact there. And then also TJ is the contact here. And you can get in touch with her. She'll get you all booked up, get the times ready to go. And then the last thing is I just like to recognize our sponsors and our preferred vendors. When I think about this, what's great about it is KT Wellness is one of our divisional sponsors. In order to find out more about their business, if that's something that might be something for you, you just click on the deal and it goes directly to their website. So we wanted to make it as turnkey as possible. Monica Foster with the EXP team, she's someone who's an industry leader, not only in Houston, but in EXP in the real estate world, period. And so you can click directly on hers for the website and also for any information there. Same thing with Cutco Closing Gifts. It goes directly to Leanne's site, as she has been a big supporter of the show for the last 4 years and every show after that. Dion Bikinis, who is a perennial sponsor. They have sponsored every show at the silver level. And of course, Amy Nowak, who she's not only competed, she is also a pro, and Lene, who is the founder and owner of Dion Bikinis. Absolutely amazing. And you'll notice why her banner is permanent, or her logo is permanently on our banner. We also have Bo Beauty, which for those of you who are getting show ready or stage ready and you wanted a little extra, well, guess what? Everything you need to know about Bo Beauty is on their website here, and they are a Diamond participating partner in the Partner Privileges program. So you can take a look and see exactly what they're doing, and you'll see exactly what they offer. And we move over to Fit by Brit, which just opened a gym up in Dallas. I'm going to just kind of briefly go through these. iCryo, who has been a sponsor since the beginning. They title sponsor, they're divisional sponsors, they're supporting partners this year and sponsors. And also My Pro Meals, who has been a sponsor every single, they're at a higher level this year. They're at a divisional sponsor. They also have been a former title sponsor. These are the meals that I order every single week. So when you think about making life easy, this is a great way to make it easy. And then we talk about our preferred partners like LGS and Yep Strength, Joe Lindeglam, Protan, Titan Athletic and Apparel, Nutrition Depot, where I get all of my Carbolin from, which I absolutely am in love with Carbolin. And then we also have Gifted Genetics, as well as Lauren Stogner Fitness, Pure Mana CBD. We have NOLA Gear out of New Orleans. We have Steelworks Gym, of course, and we have V4CR, and then we have Double Fox. So we have more that we're adding next week. And I will be adding those as we go. But the reason why I like to let you in on the little secret is it's really fun to be able to, I just realized I didn't get a chance to share it. So there we go. How's that? Oh, this is really cool. This is everything that we just talked about right here. And so I love the fact that all you need to do is just click on here and it takes you directly to the site. So this is on the stormclassicshow.com. I just realized I did that whole thing. And, I got to get better at this stuff. I swear I will. I promise. But hopefully that helped. And I love the thumbs up. Thank y'all on the thumbs up. And, you know what? When I'm in my screen share, I can't see my comments either. So, Jay, thank you so much. Daryl, always great to see you as well. When I go back to this, I think about also, I just want to touch on one other thing. This is something that is really near and dear to our heart as we've really tried to do our best to highlight our partners and people who support us. And that's one of the reasons why they might be continuing to come back. But I think also about here is everything is turnkey. It's all on the hamburger. Those little 3 lines up there has your registration. So if you want to know how to register for the show, you can register yourself, someone else, or under their email. So we make it super easy to do. And if you still need to finish your registration, it will let you pick up where you left off. So if you have an incomplete registration and you have a couple of classes that you weren't sure about and you wanted to ask your coach, as soon as you log back on, you're back on that same way. Same thing with also ticket sales. And the ticket sales, what's great about this is it's really easy. All you do is you pick the number of tickets that you want. Goes right here. And the general, the VIP, the coaches passes, and you are done. And then we go into the fun stuff. We go into the tanning, hair, and makeup. We go to the countdown. So a lot of you have asked me, how many days do we have left? We're at 84 days, 6 hours, 3 minutes, and 48 seconds. That time will never come back. And so for those of you who have questions, well, there you go. Check it out. You got your photo gallery. You got your judging criteria. You can contact us. You can look at the terms and conditions. We try and make it as easy as possible. So that way it's a one-stop shop. It even talks about the show format. So we will be having proposed times on here, which means for men, we're going to start with beginners, go to novice, go to open, go to teen, and go to masters. So we're going to do all of their judging. And then after they're done here, beginners are going to wait until all of them are done. We're going to bring the beginners back on, and then we're going to do the awards for the beginners. And then we're going to do awards for the novice. And then we're going to do awards for open. And then we are going to an overall in a live judging scenario in the open. So all first places in bodybuilding will be going for prize money, as well as the swords, as well as all the goodies. So we do the overall awards there. and then we do teen awards, and then we do masters. And we are adding, since we're putting prize payouts at masters now, we will be doing overall awards there and payouts there. Women, same thing. Boom. We've got all the bodybuilding. We've got classic physique right here, and as well as kids fitness. So this is women's bodybuilding, and then classic. And then we have kids fitness singles and doubles, and family fitness is going to go before the kids fitness doubles and singles. We'll have an intermission right here. We'll go into figure, and bikini is not last. Bikini is actually going to be in the middle this time. So ladies, you don't have to wait all day and then finally get on stage and then wait for a night show and get on at like 9 o'clock at night. We've just decided, let's put you in the middle of the day. And our tanners, our hair and makeup artists are all going to be prepared. We have actually plan A, B, and C. So that way we'll make sure that you are ready to rock and roll. And we're going to do bikini here, men's physique here. We're going to finish the show with wellness. So as I think about what we're trying to do to not only streamline the show and make it nice and smooth, if you're ever curious about the show format, as far as the way that, or excuse me, not the show format, the stage walk. Thank you. I almost skipped that and repeated it. The stage walk is very simple. It's going to be you're entering stage left. I think that's right. And the judges are going to be watching you come to the middle. You're going to do your routine in bodybuilding, and then you're going to go to the X's on the diagonals where we have gotten the chance to go to. Same thing with classic. Same thing with men's physique. I just put all the guys together, right? So that way, I mean, everybody kind of knows how this works anyway. I'm just kind of showing you. And what's great about this is for the ladies are going to be doing the exact same thing. That back line, though, and for bikini and also for wellness, they are going to be walking to the back line. They are going to be striking a pose on the back line and then walking back to the front. And we will be doing quarter turns for everyone. So that way we can judge 100% of the body, all sides. Quarter turns are all right here, as you kind of see. This is going to get fixed as far as wellness, as far as facing the front, facing the back. Your transition poses are going to be important. And if you'll notice in classic, we will have vacuum poses. If you want to do a vacuum pose or a victory pose or a front vacuum or a twisting back double bicep, your favorite classic pose. We also do have kids fitness and kids fitness doubles, which gives you an idea. They'll be doing a 60-second routine and then coming up for quarter turns and singles. They're not going to be doing quarter turns in doubles. So we're going to be doing awards. Same thing with family fitness. So we'll cover that. And then when we talk about judging criteria, we wanted it to be crystal clear. So as we look at judging criteria, it'll tell you what we're looking for in each division. So if your coach has any questions, the reason why I have this phone number up here is very specific to say, call me. I'm happy to talk with your coach on what the judges look for in criteria. But we're not going to give any secret sauce away. I mean, very simply, you can read it right there. It's easy to read. We wanted to make it transparent as possible. This is what we look for in kids fitness. This is what we look for in doubles. And this is what we look for in family fitness. And it gives you different examples of what we could do. If you have a question, you can definitely call. We can get you taken care of there. So everything that you need to know is hopefully on here. And as I think about what we're trying to do to make it easy, I want to be able to highlight what we are continuing to do and what the future holds. So I'm not going to take too much longer on here, but I do want to go back to this because I really like to highlight the last 5 episodes that we did before episode 55. And the reason why is because each episode is unique because it has its own flow to it, right? And I think about, having Daryl DeVore on, which, we did an impromptu. We were sitting there talking on the phone. We're like, why don't we just do an Instagram live on Wednesday? That sounds great. And we'll do it in an hour and a half. So we went and ate, we got all prettied up and we did that. So, when I think about impromptu type stuff, that's what we want to continue to do. And Kyle Stevens, who is a pro up in Washington, he got his dog involved, as you can see coming on, and he loves his coffee with his Deadpool mug. And that was episode 54. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. And Kyle is a great man of faith. He is someone who I've seen him compete at world championships. And he is someone who I've known for a very long time and someone who definitely has earned his pro status. Jake Strain, who is also a high-level coach. He is the trainer of the trainers. He's a master trainer. I usually see him 3 to 4 times a week in the gym. He's usually training somebody. And what I love about this is he is really someone who is a straight shooter, but he is extremely knowledgeable about what the fitness industry looks for on stage and also how to be healthier if you're not on stage. And he knows how to do rebounds. He knows how to do everything from reverse dieting out to rebounds, re-peaking on a show, and also general weight loss, transformation, all of these different things. Of course, Isaac Johnson, we did a recap on the Dallas Showdown. He runs an NFF show, and he had over 100 athletes. It was something that I really loved that we got a chance to hear. And then also Ryan Pichon, who not only stepped on our stage many times in the Storm Classic, he is someone who is running a non-sanctioned show in New Orleans at the beginning of October. And a lot of those athletes in New Orleans have said, hey, why don't we just double up? We'll come do that show at the end of October. And a lot of my athletes are like, hey, do you have a warm-up show that you would recommend? And what I'd like to do is I'd like to recommend Ryan Pichon's show. And the reason why is because Ryan Pichon knows how to put together an expo. He's got like 19 different things, it seems like. Of course, that's an exaggeration. So I think he has like 4 other things. He has cornhole. He's got powerlifting. It's a great fit expo that he and Robin have put a ton of time and energy into. And that's their baby. So I really like what he has been doing. We first met in Vegas about 2.5 years ago. I watched him get his pro card. I watched him basically compete as a pro, and now he's promoting his first show, and I know it's going to be a grand slam. So thinking about these types of people, and then, of course, Everett, who is doing family fitness with his daughter, he got the chance to do that in 2020. I don't even know what I'm doing in this picture, but you know what? It looks like 2, 1, 5, 3 something. I don't know. But long story short, Everett Jolivet, who has a gym down in Galveston, he opened up the Takeover gym, and now it's too small, so he's got to go look for another gym. He will be doing another routine with his daughter, and very excited to see that come to life. So those are those 5 episodes. Now, if you look down here, you're going to notice there was a lot. This is Jolinda. So for those of you who want to get to know your your hair and makeup artist, Jolinda tanned me in my very first show. She did my hair. And so we have a couple of throwbacks from 2014 when we did that. We've just talked about a lot of different things, what we did end up selling out on and what we had to do to open up different things. We have Frontline Alternative. We have pro meals. We have kids fitness interviews. We have Friday updates, you name it. And if you go back, we have Booker T on as well. That was fun when we partnered up. And, you can go back and look at these episodes. Now, what you're going to see on here is this one is really only a promo. It's only like 5 minutes long. We've had Dwayne Malone on. We've also gotten the chance to have Ryan and talk about her book. You'll see a whole beard right here. You'll see Rachel Ritchie and Kevin Davis. You'll see Kimberly Malo, as well as David McCaddy, Branch Warren, Kyle Jones. Isaac Johnson appears again. Scott Ramsey of Showglow Tanning and LSR. We've had Chris Proctor, the Senior Director of Europe. It goes on and on. So the reason why I like to tout or at least show you what's available is because a lot of people don't realize the value of the archives. And so if you get bored or if you're driving somewhere and you just want to hear something in the background, a lot of times when we drive, we listen to AM radio, FM radio, iTunes, something, Spotify, and more people are downloading podcasts to be able to listen on the road and actually fill their brain with things that are helpful as opposed to music. And I'm noticing that's been I guess more of a growing trend these days. And we want to continue to hopefully deliver content that in long form, if you're on a long drive, you've got that. In short form, we're doing our best to entertain you and stay in front of you on the Storm Classic show page on Instagram. We've also got Matt Storm Official, which is my personal page. So we kind of mix a little bit of show stuff in there and a little bit of family stuff too. We've also got Stormtrooper Productions, which originally that was one of the Vegas shows, which we ended up translating into because we had an audience out there and they love the fact that we're doing something here in the central part of the United States. And some people on the West Coast want to get away from the West Coast and compete somewhere else. And that's very true in Texas. Some people in Texas want to go to Florida to go compete, or they maybe want to go the other way to Vegas to compete. And that's okay too. And we also have the Friday Fitcast page. I try and keep that more podcast. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start editing clips and putting different clips of the shows that I think are highlights or that somebody really liked, maybe a witty saying. There was one that I did with Branch Warren, which I cut, which was absolute gold. And I'm trying to find out how to actually post that. So bear with us on the tech part. But that's something that we're also doing on that page too. One of the things I will ask is we're working on building up our YouTube Friday Fitcasts. So anything that we can do, any suggestions, anybody who knows YouTube really well, feel free and contact me. I'm happy to shout you out, trade or barter for something to where, if there's something that you can bring to the table to help boost that, because the more people that know about it, the more people like it. And we're trying to put a little bit more eyes on the YouTube page, because as Facebook has a limited viewership, we understand that YouTube has an unlimited viewership once you get into the search engine optimization, the SEO. And I know that there's hashtags and there's also short form YouTube, which we have a couple of friends who are doing great on that. I just don't know how to do it yet. So, it's a learning process as we go, and we want to learn with you. And I want to be able to hopefully provide something that you will be happy with. So as you can see here in the background, you'll see right up, here, that was our 2019 poster. That was the very first Storm Classic poster. Kind of proud of that one. That was kind of fun. Then we have our 2022s. And then if you look, our 2021s is right over there too. Yeah, I have a little fan too. It's kind of nice. But this is a little behind the scenes type thing that a lot of people sometimes don't see. We like to be able to, not only highlight those things. I've got a little 6400 camera here that, we've got the mic, we've got a Rodecaster, we've got a halo light, we've got everything that we try to make this production fun and experience, and even that cool blue in the background. So we might turn it to green next time for the second half. Here's what I want to finish with. What I want to finish with is who we have coming up. As I think about the guests, one of the ones I'm very excited about next week, and I think we're going to be doing the show from Florida. And so I did confirm that guest, and Mark Trujillo, Mr. America. He is the promoter. We're going to be talking about the Mr. America show. This is a perennial show that anybody in bodybuilding, if you've been around the sport long enough, know that the Mr. America is the show, right? It's like the Olympia. It's like the Arnold. It's also a non-sanctioned show. And what's great about it is a lot of people knew Mr. America, and it's synonymous with Arnold, right? Arnold has no part in the Mr. America right now. Originally, it was an AAU show, and it went to an IFBB and NPC, and, it's been bouncing around. And Mark has not only stepped up that game in that show, a lot of us are going out. I know Daryl's going out, and I see that. I'm going out. We're going to take our wives and enjoy Atlantic City, but more importantly, support a great guy who is doing amazing things with athletes. And so personally, I'm going to learn and consume. But if I can help and support, volunteer my services, he knows he's got that. And for those of you who have not met Mark, this is going to be a goodie or a treat of an interview, because this guy is very much aligned with where he wants the sport to go and how he wants his show to be a reflection of leadership. And hopefully a lot of us are forming and, getting a group or an alliance together to say, what can we do better? Because we never want to sit or rest on our laurels. We want to be continuing to adapt and evolve. When I think about evolving the sport and the way that the athlete experience works, that's what it's all about. So we've preached on that. We beat that drum. I'm sure you probably heard it millions of times already, not only from me, but from others. We're not just wanting to talk about it. We want to do it. And that's what we're executing on. So that's what we're trying to implement as fast as we can every year when we have new shows or the same show. We want to make it a 2.0, a 3.0, a 4.0. We want to upgrade that every single show and grow the show every year to that point where athletes are like, that's the show I want to do. And that's, essentially what we're striving for. So we always love to hear feedback and suggestions on those things. That's really important to us, and we want to continue that trend. The week after Mark, we're going to be having, now, some of you know this, the last two events that I've done, we've had professional wrestlers involved. And every third or second Saturday in the month, we go to the Booker T World Gym Arena. I take my whole family. My wife goes, our kids go, their friends go. We typically have anywhere between 8 to 11 people go to the Booker T Arena. and Sharmell Huffman and Booker T are there. They put on a heck of a show. Usually is a 7 p.m. bell time. We get done about 10:30, 11 o'clock after we've talked with the wrestlers after. Well, the wrestlers got a chance to see a very first Storm Classic last year at the Moody Gardens Convention Center. And they ended up doing a wrestling show during intermission for our show. So all of the folks who were watching bodybuilding got a chance to go get a taste of professional wrestling. They brought their A-list pro wrestlers. And what's neat about that is not only did they do it at the Storm Classic at the Galveston Convention Center, or excuse me, the Moody Gardens Convention Center, they also, the following week the show was over, Booker and I took a flight out with Sharmell to the MGM Grand, and he said, let's do it at the MGM Grand too. And that was a hit. They just signed a 50 TV station affiliate deal. One of them was in Las Vegas. I mean, we got creative. They found a ring. They found whatever they could to fill in the gaps, and we made a production and a show out of it. We had the 2-day show. He had the Friday night show. Boogeyman came out. Disco Inferno came out. You know, a lot of these top tier wrestlers, and they're an independent wrestling, and they're the only indie wrestling to do a show at the MGM Grand in the history of the MGM Grand. And I think about that because I thought we were doing something iconic. And, you know, I think we had a heck of a good time. There is not another organization that I know that did a show at the MGM Grand. And that was during the Latin Grammys, by the way. The Latin Grammys, what's neat about that, I think some of you might have heard this, but if you were tuning in, Booker T on Thursday night before the Friday night show won a Grammy Award with Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny ended up doing a video with Booker T and a song about Booker T, and Booker T won the award. It wasn't even there, but he was in Vegas. And the cool part about that was there were thousands of people everywhere, and we still pulled off that event. And I'm proud to say that the following week's guest will be none other than multiple belt holder, by the way, Edge Stone. And for those of you who follow Edge Stone, he's going to be doing the Storm Classic. Pro wrestling is getting into bodybuilding. And I never thought that would have happened. This is a guy and a gentleman that I met 3 years ago. Absolutely love this guy. Super down to earth. He is an incredible athlete. Extremely strong, powerful. He's a personal trainer. He's a professional wrestler. And he lives and breathes this stuff. And when he said, I'm doing your show, I'm like, really? I thought he was joking at first. But no, he's like, I'm doing the show. And that sparked some other interest from some of the other ladies and gentlemen over there. You never know who's going to show up. We're going to be having some celebrities. I don't know what names yet, but it usually happens every year. And, you know, it's fun to be able to kind of intermix with those folks and mingle and, you know, get a chance to ask them questions and get autographs and take pictures. And what we're doing right now is we're working on the new backdrops. We're upgrading all of our backdrops, making sure that you've got a place to take pictures. You've got a red carpet. You've got everything that you need. And that is going to be our guest in 2 weeks. And I would say we could go down the list, but let's just put it this way. We've got some guests that I'm very excited about. And also we will be having, hopefully, more sponsors coming on board. And we want to be able to highlight them and acknowledge them for the support that they have given us and the support that we're going to give to them. So it's a community, right? It's a family. And as we add these new vendors and sponsors who maybe not know a whole lot about what we do, we want to be able to give them back tenfold in return. And a lot of them invest time. They invest treasure. You know, they invest everything that they can to try and get their name out. And I was talking with the gym owner yesterday, and that really hit home because that gym owner, she's like, look, we put everything we got into this place. I'm like, look, don't worry about what this number says. Let's do something as far as a new business. And she was so thankful. Those are the kind of people I want to do business with. And what we're doing right now, essentially, are sponsors. The extra sponsorship money is just going to continue to try and climb the prize pool. That's what we're doing now. Our goal is to go broke over the show. So that way we know we've given everything we've got with energy, with time, with money, everything we can possibly do to try and see if we can make this thing double the size next year. That's our goal. So Masters Payout might be one of those steps to be able to do that. We're not sure, but I can tell that there's a lot of buzz about it. There's a good stir about it. We want to continue to try that. And if you have any other suggestions, we're pretty much tapping out at this point as far as the amount that we can pay out. But I'm always all ears for something that you could see. You know, it would be really cool if you were able to pull this off. And the stuff that usually sounds impossible gets the brain working to say, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make that happen or make it a reality. Those are the things that gets us, the engine running and keeps us up at night to try and figure out how to do it. So we're problem solvers. And that's what we want to do to continue to be able to grow not only our Friday Fitcast YouTube, as well as our Facebook. We want to continue our Instagram Live impromptus. I'm looking at a couple of guests who have well over 500,000 to 1 million followers. And I might be doing that specifically on Instagram. It might just be a pop-up Wednesday or a Tuesday. And I'm working on some of those folks who, I might have a relationship with, and they're like, hey, man, let's jump on for 10 minutes. And that might be just a quick 10 minutes. I'll try and do my best to download the conversation if you want to tune into it. But we want to have a mouthpiece for you to where we can entertain you. We can give you things that are useful, and we can also continue to build not only the brand, but also our great reputation, and, keep the integrity intact of what we are building and doing it right. We don't care about building it big. We care about building it right. And that's more important to me. I'd much rather have a 65 or 70 person show and it run really well because we knew we could handle it, as opposed to a 200 person show that it absolutely is just chaos and it breaks down at every single avenue. Trust me, we've seen that happen with bigger shows with 3, 4, 5, 600 people, and they're there until 2 or 3 in the morning. And it's not a good plan. And the reason why? Well, the show the following year, it hurts. If you'll remember this, there was a show, this was back in 2014, 2015. They had 1,000 competitors, and they didn't expect that many. It was downtown Houston, and their numbers, they never recovered from it because they had that stain of competitors were just sitting around the whole time, and it was not well run. And I'm not going to name the show because I think that they've done a tremendous job cleaning that up and trying to improve every single year. But that show has not stayed in the same venue. It's been bouncing around. We like to stay in the same venues unless we outgrow them. And that's why the Booker T Arena was so great. And that's why the Moody Gardens Convention Center, we can grow into that, assuming that the show continues to grow every single year. So in 2025, maybe when we've got 2 or 3 bays in the entire convention center, we like to get Lobby Hall A and then grow it into B, and then possibly B and C if we choose to do an expo. But we choose to keep it pure bodybuilding. We do not want to add powerlifting or strongman or all these other events that can take away. That's one of the reasons that's a big passion for me. And I've had a lot of people ask, are you going to add in transformation? The answer is not at this time. We want it to be a men's physique. We want it to be a wellness, a figure, a bikini, bodybuilding, classic. The kids' fitness stuff is really fun because it builds confidence for kids as ages 6 to 15. And, I have 3 kids of my own, which all compete in that show as of last year. And that's built their confidence tremendously because they felt like they worked for something, they accomplished something, and they were able to show it off in front of hundreds of people. And that, to me, is a priceless thing. So I don't know. For those of y'all who have kids and you know what, they're scared to death to speak in front of groups or public, I want my kids at 13, 14, 15 years old to be fully confident to give, to write an essay, to give a speech in front of a class, or even if they're valedictorians or salutatorians, they can give it as an address, as a high school graduation address. And not all of them are going to want to do that, but I want them to be capable to do that. I want them to be able to show something off and work for something and know what it's like to earn that. There's a lot of respect in that, a lot of self-respect and dignity, and knowing that if they can solve that problem or if it's hard or challenging, they have a reward waiting for them. And usually the bigger challenge, the bigger the reward. And it's also the bigger risk. And that's what I want them to understand is not everything is easy and not everything comes without risk. So with that being said, I appreciate all of you. I know that we have now more people tuning in, and this is something that I just wanted to give you a halftime report on. We are planning, even if I'm out of town, to continuing the Friday Fitcast. And assuming that I can get off my flight at 3 p.m. Eastern and get to the hotel and get my setup there, we will have our 5:30 p.m. Friday Fitcast ready to rock and roll. And for those of you who did check out the website when I did the screen share, you can look on the replay. I just wanted to walk through just a quick step-by-step for those of you who are asking, how do I get tickets? They go through Eventbrite. How do I register for the show? It goes directly to FitSquid. It's just the link. All you do is tap on registration. How do I book my hotel? Hit the registration, hit the hotel, hit the ticket button. It all goes to the link that you need to go to. So trust me, I've tested it like a million times, and I wanted to make sure it went to there. So thank you for putting up with my stuffy nose. I appreciate all of you, and absolutely can't wait until next week. I'm going to see who we can maybe do a little surprise pop-up with next week. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see what we can do. But I just want to thank y'all for what you are doing, and also for those of you who have shown interest, maybe in the show to come watch, maybe to compete next year, maybe to even throw your hat in this year. I know some of you who found out when we were paying out masters, we're not going to do the show, and you were going to wait. And now you're wanting to do the show, and some of you even registered right away. So that's okay too. You got 12 weeks, and you know what? You got time. Just make sure and use your time wisely. And let's make sure that we come in and make it our best. That's all that I ask. So hopefully we will get a chance to see you on the next pop-up. We will definitely be back next Friday at 5:30. I can't believe this went an hour. We did something, man, I thought it was going to be like 30 minutes. So long story short, we're still in the long form zone. But until then, we will look forward to seeing you. Feel free and follow. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Friday Fitcast. Go to the stormclassicshow.com website. Look around, navigate through. If you have questions, you can go to the Matt Storm official Storm Classic Show or Friday Fitcast or even Stormtrooper Productions Instagram. And those are all answered by me as well. So can't wait to see you all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Take care. God bless.